Yeah, we had about every emotion besides crying today because, I mean, your emotions are going up and down, but we found a way to pull it out and get a win.
It was a huge test for us tonight, being that a lot of teams in this tournament have been upset, and we just kept playing hard. So
The NCAA Men's Basketball Committee is a 5-year commitment, so we're going into year 2. It's something that going into it, you understand the amount of work that it's going to take. And then it's probably a little higher than you anticipated once you get in. I think, last year I was on the road about 45, a little more than 45 nights in some capacity with the committee. So it's a lot of time. It's watching a lot of games at night on video. It's you get like a coach where you can watch a game in 20 minutes instead of 2 hours, and you're looking for various aspects of the play of student athletes, the coaching, the flows of game, and try to get a good sense of what every team's about. So it's many hours and many nights away from home.
Well, having Mark Hollis on a selection committee is incredible for Michigan State, for Mark Hollis. Not as much for our program as far as he can't sway anything, but he can give me some insight.
If there's an occasion where the Big Ten is being discussed in my situation, I can't provide opinion. I can't say I think. But if asked a question about a Big Ten team, I can respond with a factual statement. If Michigan State comes on the board for discussion, they have this nice little room that they send you off to, and you sit there and watch TV for a period of time. And only once have we forgotten to call a committee member back in. So it's you want to make sure that you get back in, and if it gets too many minutes, you start to worry a little bit. But it's quite an honor actually to get selected, and it's very humbling. But it's a process as an administrator in Division I that you're nominated by your conference, nominated by the Big Ten in my case, and you go into a pool of candidates that are considered by the administration cabinet of the NCAA for selection. So there's 10 members. There's only one per conference, and obviously of the 32 conferences, there's only 10 that are on the committee at any one time.
Right. I was on the NCAA board for 13 years, and I have an understanding of what they go through, but just being able to sit down and talk to them and get a better idea on how the seedings go and how the selections on who's in what spot, and understanding you can't have a bunch of teams from the same conference in a certain pot or a certain bracket. There's so many insightful things, and he is one of the more intelligent guys that I think there is around.
I think the great thing about it is it's not a formula. It's a group of 10 individuals that each bring in their own background and quite frankly can vote and enter the process in their own individual way. With that said, we've been working since November in really assessing teams and going through the process. We're also engaged in the selection of sites for future tournaments. We're engaged in the officiating. And frankly, we're engaged in the big picture of the sport of basketball and how we really can be the ambassadors for the sport of men's basketball in the NCAA.
But he's bringing a lot to them, and I'm proud of Mark. I'm happy for him, and I think we here should appreciate that it's a lot of hours to do what he's doing, but he's meeting people and talking to people all over the country and different ADs and different administrative people that I think is going to pay some long-range dividends, not only the years he's on the committee.
On Tuesday of selection week, we will gather in Indianapolis, and the 10 of us will go through an assessment that night of a lot of data, a lot of calls that we've had with a variety of conferences. Each one of us have 6 or 7 conferences that we're responsible to know details with. So really not an advocate for the conferences that we represent, but more information gathering and then share it with the committee of a whole. That's the life lesson that I've really taken away, is consistency in your decision-making process.
I'm just going to leave it with no regrets. Don't have any regrets. Don't think back and say I coulda, shoulda, woulda.
He's going down! Hey! Hey!
in Spokane, Washington. We're in the East region. Michigan State is preparing to take on the 13 seed Delaware Blue Hen.
Rebound Kaminsky, now to Trice for a three. He got it. Down low on the block with it is Payne. He's backing in. Step back, two's away. Good. That's the first bucket of the game for Payne. Rebound Dawson down to Harris on the breakaway. Slam. Here comes Athling for Michigan State across the timeline. Now to Payne. He measured a three. He got it. Oh, that was beautiful when it left and going through. With it is Payne for another three, and he got that one. So Adrian Payne has 12.
Well, he dribbles right and he comes back to the right shoulder. Kissed that with the left hand, as you said. Baptiste just can't do anything with Adrian Payne right now.
2:23 left. Payne another three. He got it. He's got 4 of them. Now down the Trice, down the lane he goes, and his scoop shot is good. He rolled around and dropped.
Oh, and you gotta love the extra pass by Elvin Ellis, setting up Trice right there for a wide open three.
5:54 to go. Keith goes all the way down and slams it. Man, Delaware was not ready for that move. Valentine to Payne, head fake up, slam, and that's the record. Adrian Payne has now scored more points in a tournament game than any other in the history of Michigan State basketball.
With L's points, he passed Greg Kelser. Unbelievable.
Out of Valentine. Valentine gets a pick going down the lane. Oh, a beautiful bounce pass to Dawson.
Really was a great game, a great performance, a historic performance by Adrian Payne, and a really good performance by the Spartans.
MSU 93 and Delaware 78.
Seed, the Spartans of Michigan State. NCAA tournament 17 straight years for Tom Izzo. State defeated top seed Michigan. Starting the season 18-1, and who do they get to play? So we got to leave tomorrow. Athletic Association, the Delaware Blue Hens. Delaware won both the colonial regular season title and the tournament.
It is pretty crazy that we'll be here till like 2 a.m. working, trying to log all these games so the coaches can watch the film as soon as possible. So that's why we're up here frantically running around.
I'm printing off the last 10 games Delaware played. I'm doing the box scores, the season scores for the coaches, so they have some type of documentation so it can help with their ideas.
A lot of people can't imagine all the different things that we do. They think we're just water boys and towel boys, that kind of thing, but we do a lot more than that, from being at practice an hour early and staying after an hour later to be there for the guys for rebounding, setting up water, and all the stuff that we need for practice, dummies and stuff like that. And then also in the video room, we do tons and tons of film breakdown. We don't just do a couple games for our opponents, but we break down almost every game they play. And then we do scouting reports and ball screens, personnel, those kind of things. And then there's a lot of duties on the road as well that people don't realize. They think it's just vacations for us. I talk to my friends and they think, oh, that's so cool, you're here, you're in New York, you're here, but they don't realize that we're working the whole time we're there too, getting the guys up and making sure everything's running smoothly, getting from place to place.
We're always there's some days we're in the office and it's kind of leisurely, but there's other days, we're all working under pressure and we're all stressed, and that's the times when you kind of get to really know each other. And
everyone in the office accepts each other for who they are, and everyone kind of just embraces that, and everyone kind of gets messed with a little bit, but that's all because we care about each other. And it's just it can be a tough atmosphere at times, but also we all know that we're all trying to have the same goal of winning games.
There's so many different jobs to do each day. So when you walk in, you don't really know what you're going to be asked to do, but you got to be ready and you got to be able to get that job done as quickly as possible.
So late nights you're in the office, the selection Sundays or late night film sessions when you're kind of dreading it all day, thinking, oh, I'm going to be here till midnight or 1 or 2 o'clock or whatever it is. But it's you and, like I said, your best friends hanging out till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It's maybe not the typical college experience, but it's very similar to what other people get to do. We just get to do basketball with it, and it's something we love.
Both my parents went here, and I was just a Michigan State fan my whole life. I played basketball in high school, so it was just kind of a dream to just work for the program in some way, and I want to do something in sports. When I grew up, I wanted that to be my career, so I thought this would be a great starting point.
When I was, like I said, really little, it was the only thing that I wanted to do when I got older. I wanted to play, but was only 5'0", so that didn't work out. And I found this path, and I definitely want to do something in sports, and specifically basketball if I can.
Well, I like being a manager, being able to travel over the country, and being able to be with people that I've really grown close to. I consider all these my other managers as brothers to me now.
The relationships I've formed with all the other managers, the coaches, we get to work with these guys 40 hours a week, and it starts off, you don't really realize it, but you're with these guys 40 hours a week, and you think you want to go home and get away from them, but next thing you know, you go home and you're back hanging out with them that night or going to see movies or whatever with them, and you just realize that they're your best friends, and that's probably the best part is the relationships more than basketball or anything else.
I mean, it's great hanging out with the players, and you learn a lot from the coaches. The players are all real nice to us, and we joke around with each other, so they don't necessarily treat us as managers, but more as friends.
Getting to be around coaches who every day helps you from a basketball point of view, if that's something we're looking to get into, just from being around him and learning from him as a person and how he handles the different adversity and issues he deals with. And then working with the players, being here 4 years, I've formed a lot of good relationships with the guys I came in with, and even a lot of the younger guys. Just because I've been here 4 years, I think I know a lot more than I probably do. So they ask me questions, and it's a lot of fun to hang out with them and kind of help them out.
Like this job has taught me a lot about not only basketball, but also how to be a leader and what true hard work really is.
Winning the Big Ten tournament last week was an awesome thing. Being able to be down there on the court after the game celebrating and cut down a piece of the net was just awesome. But I think the best thing is being in those late night film sessions, like on Selection Sunday, being in there till 4:30 a.m. like we were this past Sunday. You realize that you're giving a lot to this program, and you realize that if this team makes a run, that you were a big part of that.
I had some close friends going into college from high school and stuff like that, and some of them have kind of faded away because I've spent so much time with these managers. We're with each other 7 days a week, and the relationships you build is unbelievable. It's probably the best part about being a manager, I'd have to say, is the guys that we get to work with and the things that we get to go through together. Some of the stuff is tough, and some of it's good when we win championships and stuff like that, but it's definitely something I'll remember for a lifetime.
Balancing the basketball and academic anytime during the year is tough, but especially during March when you're traveling all the time, going to different places, practicing, a lot of pressure because it's the end of the season, so I mean everything's on the line. So getting everything around, you just got to do your work ahead of time so when you're on the road you can focus on being on the road.
Exams pick up, studying starts to pick up right now at this time. Weather gets warm, you might not want to study and be outside, or you get a little bit off focus, but this is this time where you just stay consistent on your studies, and it's a lot of work, but that's what we signed up for, and you still got to get your schoolwork done.
The second semester is always hardest for us because in the first semester you got a lot of home games, you don't travel as much, but here once Big Ten starts, I mean you're gone at least 1-2 times a week, and around this time you're missing so much class that it's hard, but our professors and our TAs do a great job of keeping us into it. I mean, you got to give our academic staff a lot of credit.
We really encourage to work ahead too. I mean, we know when a lot of things are due. If they have, open week, kind of over spring break, let's start looking ahead to get some work done.
They do a great job. Kristen really helps us out getting us to where we need to be doing our work before it's supposed to be done, so we're ahead of schedule. And even when we have to take quizzes and tests on the road, she's there to proctor it for us.
I pretty much see them on a daily basis. We're constantly communicating about what's going on in the classes, what assignments and exams that they have coming up. We do know the time frame of the tournaments, although the time that they leave can depend on obviously where they're placed. But we do, constantly communicating with the professors, the students are communicating, and that really is how the process starts.
The neat thing about Coach Izzo's program and even the Smith Center's program that works with him is that we really have a template for this process. So whether we're leaving on a Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, we really have a good system in place to kind of alleviate some of that anxiety for our student athletes.
Oh, they do an incredible job. I mean, they get the best tutors. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. Kristen Reinhardt, our academic advisors, text everyone, lets them know, what you have coming up in the week. She always sends out simple reminders and just make sure you guys are always on task.
I'm fortunate we have a great group of students here. They really, they do want to do well in their classes. Sometimes they don't project that message, they focus on basketball sometimes, but we're fortunate that they do communicate, they respond, they're, on top of their stuff. They really do know what they're doing and what they have going on in their classes.
Kristen does a great job of constantly texting us and letting us know, hey, you got a paper that's due tonight, make sure you do it, or hey, study for this test coming up, because you're going to miss class. So, I mean, you definitely got to give her and all the academic people a lot of credit.
Obviously, we want our students to communicate with their professors first. I'm kind of there to help with the, any accommodations that need to be made on the road. It does get a little difficult when you find out Sunday night where you're going and then you could be leaving, a day and a half later. Just getting out the class excuse forms, communicating with the professors what they really are going to miss and when they won't be there for class.
Michigan State faculty are overwhelmingly supportive of the work that we do at Michigan State, and particularly in the Smith Center, and with all of our sport programs. And it's not that they don't get special treatment, it's just that they understand that travel is a big part of competing on the national stage.
Difficult to keep up with school because, right now, for a lot of the guys, our main focus is winning national championship. And it's not easy, but we know we got to do it. It's part of being a student athlete, and we do make it important.
It's tough. At times it kind of get nerve-wracking, to be honest with you. But, I mean, coming in, that was one of our goals as freshmen, was to finish it with a degree. We're definitely, a couple of us are definitely on pace to do that. And that's a special moment for ourselves and our families, and as well as the program. So, we just got to try to focus in and finish strong in the classrooms and on the basketball floor.
Our guys are pros, though, from the standpoint of understanding what the mission of our program is to win basketball games, it's to enhance their leadership and their personal development, it's also to get an education. And so if you're looking at those three things and everyone working in concert to help them, I think it helps alleviate the anxiety as much as possible.
The hardest thing is usually getting out of the first weekend. As dumb as that sounds. It's not getting on beyond that. It's that first weekend. We just gotta come out, check, and realize we do a lot of back cutting. And so you gotta stay focused. You can't be sleeping, all right? You gotta stay focused.
Bounce pass down low, intercepted by Gary Harris. Here goes Michigan State. Bounce pass, Dawson, slam dunk, 5-0 MSU. And MSU defensively is just taking Harvard out of anything they want to do.
And what a terrific no-look pass there by Valentine. He froze the Harvard defense, and Harris was wide open.
Chambers has it. Now goes over to Casey. Pass down low, intercepted by Travis Trice. Now to Harris, to Dawson. Oh, what a slam. Appling, he'll go down the lane, floaters away, no, and the follow slam by Payne is nothing but good. And Harvard could take the lead on this trip. On the side for three in the lead is up and it's in. As Brevard gets his first tray of the game, and with 7:07 to go, it is now Harvard 62 and Michigan State 60.
Big one.
That was big. Here comes Valentine. Now to try. He'll try to answer with a three. He got it. How about that? Now for three, Harris. He got it. Turning points of the game. A three by Trice, Harris, and Valentine. Those 9 got MSU back on track. Clock is ticking, and this game is in the books. Final score from Spokane, Washington. Michigan State 80, Harvard 73, and we're going to the Garden. We're going to the Sweet 16.
We had about every emotion besides crying today because, I mean, when you go up by 19 and they go on a 16-2 run and then they go up by 1 late in the game, I mean, your emotions are going up and down, but we found a way to pull it out and get a win.
Jake, they was nervous. No, I was cool. I was cool the whole time. I knew we were going to win.
Guys, we did a hell of a job, and I kept saying to my staff that we were 13, 14 up, and I felt like we were 20 up. We were playing well enough to be up, and they just kept hanging around. Didn't give them a lot of credit. Make sure you do, because they did a heck of a job. But the difference in the game, guys, we had 10 turnovers the second half, and at least 6 of them led to layups, okay? Other than that, I thought we did a lot of good things. We didn't rebound quite as well. We lost a little focus there for a couple minutes, but all you've been through, we're going to New York, fellas.
We're going to the Garden.
Applehead made some free throws.